The coalition of three German parties, Social Democrats, Greens and Liberals, led by Chancellor Olaf Scholz, was always walking a tightrope as far as its agenda was concerned. Take for instance its foreign policy. How Germany should be having ties with China was one of the key sticking points. The three parties had mutually decided earlier to take a stronger stance against Beijing. Or as Vice Chancellor Robert Habeck says,
Die Naivität gegenüber China ist vorbei und das darf ich auch für die deutsche Bundesregierung sagen, auch für Deutschland. Die Zeit, wo man gesagt hat, Handel no matter what, egal wie die sozialen oder die humanitären Standards sind, das ist der Sinn von allen Beziehungen, die sollten wir uns nicht mehr erlauben. Das heißt, wir werden auch gegenüber China, über Europa eine robustere Handelspolitik aufstellen.
The coalition made it clear it will call out Xi Jinping's China on its human rights record. But what Berlin forgot, perhaps deliberately, is that it can't afford to brush Beijing the wrong way. Is the coalition on shaky grounds? It all began when Chancellor Olaf Scholz made a controversial visit to China earlier this month. This man wasn't alone. He took a delegation of some of the top German businessmen with him. In simple terms, the visit was seen as Scholz trying to embrace China, much to the dismay of not just his coalition members, but the European Union as well. Scholz in a way was compelled to cozy up with China. On last count, around 5,000 German companies are operating in China. Beijing is also one of Germany's main trading partners. According to estimates, goods worth 246.5 billion euros were traded between Germany and the People's Republic of China in 2021. Zoom in and you will find one ally, the Green Party, expressing its disappointment in no uncertain terms about Scholz warming up to Jinping. Listen in for yourself.
One agrees on a new strategy on politics that have learned their lessons. Saying we are an open market is not saying we are a stupid market. So we have to be careful.
That was the country's economy minister and vice chancellor Robert Habeck. Unlike Scholz, who wants a business as usual and in fact more friendlier ties with China, his allies' caution comes at a significant juncture. If there is one incident that clearly depicts the division in the German coalition on China, it is the Hamburg port. The Olaf Scholz-led government gave a nod to China's Costco to buy a 25% stake in a terminal in the Hamburg port, which, mind you, is the country's largest. Although it was lesser than the 35% stake the Chinese company was aiming for, the stake was good enough a platform for Scholz's allies to pounce. Through this investment, China is basically expanding its powers and having a say in Germany's infrastructure facility. And one very well knows what will happen if, by chance, China decides one fine day to turn its back on Berlin. There is good reason for Scholz's allies to remind him of being too close to China. It was not too long ago that over-reliance on a dictator cost Germany and the EU its precious energy. Despite being dumped by Russia, Germany still wants to continue the same exercise with Xi Jinping, who's another dictator. Habeck made it clear that they aren't opposing Chinese investments altogether. Realizing its importance, the economy minister is pushing for some sort of a regulated mechanism.
There are some sectors that are not opened for sale, and therefore we have to change the politics in that areas. Some part of the health business, for example, semiconductors, also critical infrastructure like ports, airports, and telecommunication and energy.
But will Olaf Scholz be able to draw a fine line between the nation's interests, or will it be a case of deja vu and regrets later on